All right. Welcome back, everybody. How's everyone doing? Today we have our sports analysis show here at the JoeyH podcast. Today, with me, as always, for this show, Lucas. How are you today?
What's up, dude? How you doing? I'm doing good.
I can't complain, man. I can't complain. No football is killing me, but you know what? Every now and again, I do get a good little distraction from the no football. So, with that being said, this week we had a very historic milestone. For those of you that do not know, excuse me, I am a big Miami Heat fan. I have been ever since I was a kid. So, on Tuesday, Bam Adebayo, who's been with the team since 2017, has always been a stand-up individual. He scored 83 points in a single game against the Washington Wizards. And I couldn't be more proud. And I believe that he holds the real record. Okay? I feel like Kobe previously had the real record, but I believe that he has a real record because the thing is, Wilt, there was no footage. And I feel like a lot of his stats, they say a lot of his stats are like unofficial. And I'm like, bro, okay, well, at that point, you might as well have just said it ain't true.
Yeah,
But to Bam, I couldn't be more proud of you. We got to retire his number. It has to happen. So, Lucas, my man, what do you think about this, man?
that game was actually pretty crazy. If you watch that game, that the amount of the fourth quarter, I think the third quarter alone could have been its own game. I mean, they were triple teaming Bam after the third quarter, double teaming him.
Mm-hmm.
Just bullying the guy. And I mean, honestly, it's say what you want to say. Oh, he had a million free throws. Oh, this, that, and the third. Still scored points.
Yeah.
Still scored the points. I totally agree with you. I think that record is totally his. I do think they should retire his number just for that accomplishment alone. Um, it's honestly super impressive. It is super impressive to see that,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just a good moment in the NBA. It's just a good moment in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, the in all reality, listen, man, haters gonna hate. They're gonna say, "Oh, like it's against the Washington Wizards. Like the Wizards are trash." Of course, he listen. Boo hoo, woo hoo. I don't care, bro. I don't care. Listen, Bam, it's legit, and I like how they're not downgrading themselves.
No,
Bam said, "I'm not apologizing." Eric Spoelstra, the head coach of the Heat, said, "I apologize to no one." You know
as
what I
they
mean?
should, as they shouldn't. They don't need to apologize to anybody. Records
Yeah,
are meant to
man,
be broken. Records are meant to be broken.
absolutely. So, yeah, bro, it's a whole bunch of nonsense out there. And look, shout out RIP Kobe, man. He had 81 points against the Raptors in 2006, which that was insane. And I believe there's only been around, like, I think there's only been maybe 7 or 8 players in the NBA to score north of 70 points in a single game. So, look, to be in those talks, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. It's awesome. But I feel like one of these days, though, one of these days, someone is gonna go for the someone's gonna go for the 100.
Some,
If
yeah,
they're gonna go for the 100, however, I still think Bam, it's his record. Wilt, I just listen, until I see some footage, I'll believe it. But
Exactly.
look, could it have happened? Sure. Could have, because what let's be honest, Wilt was a foot taller than everyone he was
He's
playing.
playing against plumbers. He's playing against plumbers and middle school teachers.
Plumbers, janitors, and vice principals, okay? Like, come on now. Uh, all right. So, moving topics. Uh, the wide receiver room at Ohio State just earned themselves another star. Chris Henry Jr., the son of the late Chris Henry Sr. His father played for the Cincinnati Bengals. Unfortunately, passed away in 2009. But the Chris Henry Jr. is joining the Ohio State football team, and this to me is awesome because I've been following Chris Henry Jr. since he was going into high school because for some of the people who don't know, Flemlo Raps is one of my favorite YouTubers. He made a video about his father, and in that video, he talked about how Adam Pac-Man Jones adopted his sons after he passed. So, uh, he took him in, and he was talking about how Chris Henry Jr. is about to become a freshman, and Chris Henry Jr. was 6'3" at 14 years old, which is insane. And I got to see it on display because he was at Mater Day in California, and this past August they flew here to Fort Lauderdale to play my high school. I graduated from St. Thomas, and they beat us by 3 points, I believe. So, and Chris Henry Jr. went off in that game. So, I'm and like, look, the wide receiver room is just getting more and more scary at Ohio State as the years go on. So, and especially now that Jeremiah Smith is going in his third year at Ohio State. So, Lucas, tell me your thoughts. Do you think Ohio State is going to go for do you think they will make it to the national championship this year? Not win it, but just make it.
Um, excuse me. Sorry.
You're good.
Um, honestly, yeah, no, that receiving room is insane. Jeremiah Smith, I mean the amount of impact he made when his redshirt freshman year, his freshman year, that amount of impact he made for that team, super great. And now with somebody like Chris Henry Jr., um, just another great addition to that team. He's super tall, super lanky, super strong, super athletic. Everything you want to see in a top recruit receiver, a football player,
Mhm.
top recruit football player. It's good to see. He showed a lot of good things in spring ball, um, for sure. For sure. It looks like he could block some players too. It looks like he pushed people out of the way sometimes. So
Yeah,
that's really good to see, especially from somebody so young. And being a dual sport athlete, you love to see that basketball and football, both super athletic sports. And he's just a super athletic kid. So honestly, I'm excited to see it. Excited to see what they use him for, how they use him. But to answer your question, I do think they'll probably make it to the Natty, if not, um, definitely in the far in the playoffs, far in the playoffs.
absolutely. Now, here's another thing, and this is like a little side topic. My dad told me earlier this week that there has been some back and forth with the Big Ten commissioner and the NCAA commissioner. I guess there's been some sort of unfairness. I don't know the story, but the Big Ten commissioner said that they are preparing to branch off and do their own thing. So, and it will just be the Big Ten conference. There will be no national championship. Whoever wins the Big Ten championship, that's just the winner. Now, 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 here's the thing.
Right.
Look. No, 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 no. Look, look. Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I like this move actually. I do.
Really?
I want them to branch out. Even more, I want Notre Dame to join the Big Ten,
Oh my gosh.
and like it would be the coolest thing ever, honestly. Because let's be honest, past 3 years in a row, Big Ten has been ruling college football.
Yeah, absolutely.
So all the other teams would be left in the dust. And so Nebraska, we're gonna play. Nebraska's got a hefty schedule. We got to play Ohio State at home next year. We
Damn,
got to play Indiana at home. We got
damn.
to go on the road to Oregon.
Oof.
So
That's a
and
tough play. That's a
the
tough
it just gets worse, man. And like, listen, I'm not saying we can't get it done, but you know,
any given Saturday, bro.
but here's the thing, like all I'm saying, Ohio State, when we play them, we got to make that game a night game, okay? Because I think that's the only way we're going to be able to stop Jeremiah and Chris Henry Jr. Because a night game at Memorial Stadium, that's like no other. And Lucas, I don't think you've been to a night game at
Not
Memorial.
no, not a night game. Not a night game.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the Rutgers game we went to, it got dark as the game was over, but it
Yeah,
wasn't.
it ended at dusk. It ended at dusk, pretty much.
Yeah, but a game that starts at the night, I'm telling you, at Memorial Stadium, it's like the crowd plays the game with the
Mm,
team.
mm.
They're like, I'm telling you right now, Nebraska football at night at Memorial Stadium, it's like no other. That stadium is jumping the entire night. The it is like it's like it grows a pairs of legs and it just starts jumping the entire night. Like it's insanely loud in there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But look, what are your thoughts, Lucas? Do you think the Big Ten? I know you being a Florida State fan, I know you don't want to hear it, but you know, what are your thoughts? Do you think that's a good move? But before you answer, I just want to say that it would give it the way you should look at it if it does happen. I think you should look at it as an opportunity,
Yeah,
and be like, hey, Florida State, we got a real opportunity to make a playoff push because we won't have to face no Big Ten teams. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But
no, for
go ahead.
sure, for
Go
sure.
ahead. Go ahead. Give your thoughts.
My thoughts, is that a bad thing? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. The NCAA is rough, and especially like with all their weird standings and rules and whatever. It wouldn't be a bad thing. I don't know why I keep yawning. I'm sorry.
You're good, man. I
Um,
just woke up
especially
from
with
a nap not too
especially
long
with
ago.
Notre Dame finally joining the conference. That'd be really cool to see. Um, but Florida State's already talking about leaving the ACC and going over to either the Big Ten or the Big 12. Um,
Mm.
so, and that would be really cool either way. That would be really cool either way. Um, I think the Big Ten, you're right, has definitely been uh, running football the last couple of years. But what about when the SEC was running football for all those years? They never even talked about leaving the NCAA.
No, no, you're right. You're right. You're right.
And for sure, the NCAA definitely shows favoritism towards the SEC. It's a known fact. It's a known fact. Um, Call me salty or whatever, but it's true. Uh, I wouldn't be upset about it, but the odds of it happening are slim.
Okay. Okay. Look, I'll say this. Yes, SEC, they were running football for a lot of those years, and that's no, and you're right. That's fair to say. It's fair to say that. However, you know, I would say as far as producing, the most like because Big Ten in the last 3 years, it's not like the same team has won each of those 3 years. It's been a different team each of those years. So, look, I'll say this. The way the winner would be decided, I don't think it would just be one game in Indianapolis. You know what I mean? I think the Big Ten would end up having to do a some sort of playoff bracket
Mhm.
that would extend into the December month, and then would probably end. I want to say around New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, in Indianapolis. I don't. It's hard for me to believe that just one game would be the deciding factor. But, look. But, anyways, Ohio State, Jeremiah Smith, Chris Henry Jr., it's going to be scary. And, Jeremiah, I listened to his interview on the Downs to Business podcast with Caleb Downs and his brother Josh. Jeremiah, he's just cut from a different cloth, man. He's from, I want to say, 20 minutes from where I live.
Mhm.
He's a stand-up guy. I actually, fun fact, I went to preschool like right next to the high school Jeremiah Smith went to. It's so Chaminade.
Oh,
It's
you went to Chaminade?
what?
He went
Yeah,
to Chaminade?
yeah. He went to Chaminade. Chaminade, and it's the preschool I went to in Nativity. Well, from what I understand, it's like an elementary and middle school, but I only went there for like preschool.
Mhm.
Chaminade and Nativity, it's on the same property. So I went to preschool, and funny enough, when I went to preschool, Chaminade, I wouldn't say they were bad, but they weren't what they are now.
No.
And to see the success that they've had in the last 10 years is just unbelievable. So
Yeah.
yeah, but Jeremiah Smith, shout out to you and Chris Henry Jr. It's gonna be scary, definitely gonna be scary for Ohio State. Any of Ohio State's opponents, man, it's gonna be scary.
I really have it. I really see every team, every defense having a really, really hard time with Ohio State University.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, no. Our last topic, the UFL, March 27th is going to be upon us. The UFL, unique is what I gotta say. However, a little fun fact: the UFL just got they moved three teams, and they got new cities and everything. So the Memphis Showboats, they moved, the San Antonio Brahmins moved, and there's one more team, but I forget. I can't remember off the top of my head. But there's a team in Louisville, there's a team in Columbus, Ohio, and there's a team in Orlando. Florida got a team. They're gonna play at Orlando City's the soccer team's stadium. So that's gonna be cool. However, I will say uh the UFL, uh it's different. You know what I mean? It's very different. But Lucas, I do want to ask you, like, what are you looking forward to? And you know what? Right here, right now, let's find a team to support in the UFL. Let's find us a team.
Absolutely, absolutely. I I'm just excited to watch football again, man. I'm just excited to watch football. It'll be something to have on at work. It'll be something that this channel will now be supporting. First, I'll read off the first weekend of that league. Week 1, we have Birmingham Stallions versus the Louisville Kings. DC Defenders versus the St. Louis Blackhawks. Houston Gamblers and the Dallas Renegades play each other. I can imagine that could be fun.
Mm-hmm.
The Columbus Avatars and the Orlando Storm.
Mm.
I say we stay right here in Florida and go for the Orlando Storm.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Florida's team. new team. They're playing in Orlando. At, like you said, at Interco Stadium, the Orlando Magic Stadium. I mean Orlando City Stadium. So yeah, I say we go for the Orlando Storm. Orlando Storm.
All right, all right. Orlando Storm, I'm with it. And yeah, we gotta try to make it to a game. One of those.
Oh my
I,
gosh, dude, that would be amazing. That would be actually insane.
yeah,
That'd
yeah, yeah.
be insane.
That'd be awesome. And the thing is that I actually didn't know this until last year. Um, a lot of like all like the UFL players, they live in Dallas.
Mm,
And just like I'd say the day before the game, they just head out. They fly out to the stadium, to the city. But check this out though. Check this out. I didn't know that the teams share the plane.
really?
Yes, flying to the city. And I was like, listen, no offense to UFL, but I'm already knowing there's no way you're doing that in college football, bro.
Absolutely not, dude.
If
Absolutely not.
I'm
Planes would
tell
crash. Planes would crash. Planes would crash.
I'm telling, let's just say for example, if I don't know, like if Florida State and Florida agreed to play in Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, right?
Mm.
So let's just say they meet in like
Let's say
halfway.
they meet at Tallahassee Airport.
Yeah,
Tallahassee.
yeah, they meet halfway between yeah, like they go to either the Gainesville airport or the Tallahassee airport. I'm already knowing that plane wouldn't even take off, bro.
Absolutely not, dude.
That plane wouldn't even take off. And
They
think about it.
they wouldn't get through at TSA. Dude. They wouldn't even get through TSA.
Think about it. Gainesville to Miami is probably, I want to say, like an hour flight. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? That
absolutely.
plane's not even taking off, bro. That plane's not even taking off, bro. That's I'm not, no, hell no. Hell no. But here's the thing. Look, the reason why I like the UFL so much is because the St. Louis Battlehawks, they play in that St. Louis Rams dome in St.
Dang,
Louis.
awesome.
Here's the thing. Look, I have family, who lives in Missouri, and a lot of Rams fans, they were gutted when the Rams left and went to LA, bro. They were gutted.
I believe it.
And
I believe it.
and when you look at and here's the thing, that dome, it's literally, excuse me, it stood there in downtown for just like 5 years, bro. Just like I'm not saying nothing went on, but bro, it
Vacant.
basically, fam. And then the XFL, they rolled around in 2020, and then but look, now they've had to merge, and but look, it's still there. And the Battlehawks, the St. Louis, they got a team to fall back on. You know what I mean? But look, Orlando Storm, I'm with it though.
Absolutely.
And from what I understand, I also heard so there's an indoor football team called the Massachusetts Pirates, right?
Mm.
And they just moved to Orlando. And from what I understand, the Mass Pirates, they've been putting belt to A in the Arena League.
There
And
you
yeah, and now they've just moved to Orlando. So hey, maybe we catch a game going there.
go. Absolutely. That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, so and also shout out to AJ McCarron. He is the head coach of the Birmingham Stallions now. And AJ McCarron, he was one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch growing up. Alabama legend for sure. So, look, man, I'm hyped, you know what I mean? No football's been killing me, but hey man, I'm here for it. So, but Lucas, any final thoughts, bro?
No. Florida State has announced they're retiring Jameis Winston's jersey. I think that's amazing. I think that's great news coming out of Florida State. Um, Best news Florida State fans have had in a while. I think they love Jameis Winston loves Tallahassee, and Tallahassee loves Jameis Winston. And it's going to be a great time. Shout out Jameis Winston, great career, great quarterback. Don't care what they say about him.
Oh yeah, I don't care what no one says about Jameis, man.
Yeah, I
Jameis,
love Jameis. I love Jameis. I grew up watching Jameis. He was my first like quarterback as a Florida State fan, really. Like my first like real like good quarterback at Florida State. Won the Heisman, won the Natty. Uh, just a good Florida State player, and he totally deserves his jersey retired.
absolutely, absolutely. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. That automatically should have, gotten him it retired. But look, man, that's awesome. And from what I understand, his brother's going to play at Florida State too, right?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
That's awesome, man. That's great. So, yeah, shout out to Jameis, man. You made a lot of Seminoles happy, a lot of Seminole fans happy. Brought them a natty, and I don't believe I actually, yeah, I don't believe there's been a Florida college football team since then to
Yes.
win the national
Since
championship.
2013, we have been in a drought since 2013.
I mean, if you want to say UCF in 2017, it's unofficial, official, like because Governor DeSantis he declared them as national champions. But look, I
Come on.
unofficial, if it, whatever you want to say. But anyways, we have been in a drought since 2013. So, Jameis, uh, I appreciate you leaving your mark on the state, even though you're not from here. You know what I mean? I appreciate you, man. So that's going to be all for this episode, guys. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to watch. And Lucas, man, I'll leave the last word to you.
Just have a great day. Like, subscribe to the channel. Go Orlando Storm, man. Go Orlando Storm. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited to be covering this team. Everybody have a great day.
Absolutely, man. All right. Much love, guys. Peace out.
Peace.